Today's story. This is a kind of a cute story. It's a cute, actually very powerful story. Ronnie, good morning. This story is told by my mechutin, Shalom Bela.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. So my mechutin, I'm talking about Shalom Bela Witten. This is, if you remember, because he was here for the Chassidus, he is Levi Levitten's father, the father-in-law of my youngest daughter, Banja, Rivka. So he's the head shliach to Seattle, Washington. He tells the following story. This is back in the early 70s, probably. He says, we were Bochem in 770, and one Yechidus night, we used to see people 3 nights a week, till the morning sometimes, and even later. So he says, they came to 770, he describes him as a strange fella. It's a little bit, on the spectrum, as we describe it today. So he comes in, 770 was a small place in those days. So a fella comes in and the boys learn upstairs in the small zal. Later years, we learned downstairs also. It's impossible to accommodate, but believe it or not, in those days, all the 770 Baruch learned in that small little shul upstairs, Ronnie, that you remember well. So this fella comes in and he says he wants to go into Yechidus. Hello, he wants to see the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Why? Because he's the Mashiach. This fella says on himself, he's the Messiah. And he has proof. And he has documentation and papers that prove that he's Mashiach. So he says that we were there, so we tried to, gently, dismiss him and to talk him out of it. And we told him that you don't just waltz into Yechidus. Yechidus is only, he was not a married fellow. Obviously, he was Jewish, seems also, I think. Yeah. And looks like he may be even from. He hasn't gone into detail. But anyway, so I'm looking at the way they answered him. So they told him that a bocha, he goes in on his birthday. In those days, every year on your birthday, you went in. So, okay, so he leaves, goodbye. We don't see him. Then he shows up one night around his birthday. And he got a Yechidus. I guess he went through the channels. He went through the secretariat, they don't screen anybody. And he got a Yechidus, as we were all very curious as to what's going to happen now. He's going to Yechidus, he's coming with his documentation, he's the Mashiach. He comes out of Yechidus, the guy's beaming. He's beaming. He said, we were amazed. And we said, tell us, what did the Rebbe tell you? For this is such a lesson. So he says to this guy, he says to the Bachim, he says, you're making fun of me that I say that I'm Mashiach. When I went into the Rebbe, it looks like he's a frum guy. Maybe even being Chabad, When I went into the Rebbe said, oh, he wants to see the documentation, the proofs. He said, show me. And the Rebbe looked at it seriously. He's looking at it. And then the Rebbe said to me, I'm getting more detail. Okay. He wasn't observant. He wasn't from. So the Rebbe said to me, that in order to be Mashiach, you have to keep Shabbos and put on film and eat kosher. So if you want to be Mashiach, you got to keep all the mitzvahs. And he was happy, thrilled. He's got a game plan. He came out of Yechidus. So he says, this fellow, so you see, he's obviously not observant. So he says to the boy, he said to us, says Shalom Bela Witten, you didn't accept what I said, but now I'm going to do what the Rebbe said if I want to be Mashiach. So it's an incredible story because it just shows how do you deal with people and their problems no matter what. The first thing is you have to validate and you have to empathize. That's number one. Second message of the story is what was gained here. The guy's getting back on the journey of keeping Shabbos and keeping kosher. And finally, I want to tell you that the Rebbe is not, this being cute and using his messianic fantasies to bring him closer to Yiddishkeit. The Rebbe is serious because in everybody's a spark of Mashiach. Everybody has a spark of Mashiach's neshama. So the Rebbe said to me these words, if you want to be Mashiach, it means, if you want to reveal the Mashiach within you, which we all have, he never didn't go into this elaboration with him because he wasn't ready to hear that and couldn't hear it and wasn't able to understand that. But every word that I was telling him is true. Keep Torah and mitzvahs. Keep Shabbos, keep being observant, and you'll be Mashiach, really reveal the Mashiach within you. So there's 3 lessons here. But the third one is the third one. What I'm sharing the story is this incredible, how the Rebbe takes him seriously, treats him seriously, validates, show me what it is, and then directs him on a healthy and productive path. Profound lesson for all of us. Okay, friends.